mother-in-law, father-in-law, my sister-in-law, brother-in-law, my neighbor. I say my best friend that I can confide in, my best friend that I can tell all my secrets to. I put my trust in my best friend so much, he went to medicine man to kill me. Went to medicine man to spoil my destiny. They will try, it will never work. The Bible said, greater the sin that was in me, than he that was in the world. The Bible said, no weapon I fashion against me shall ever prosper. That's why they are men. They are not God. Don't conclude my case. They are men. They are not God. Don't conclude my case. This is Minister Yvonne P. Carey, put in the Sheen original lady second time around. I don't have food to eat. Tomorrow I will give to the poor. I don't have clothes to wear. When God bless me, I will bless people. I don't have money to buy. When God bless me, I will give to the poor. I don't have place to sleep. Tomorrow God will give me houses. So don't conclude my case. Don't conclude my case. My case. Don't conclude my case.
Your life. If you can't help me, don't harm me. If you can't help me, don't tell me down. My today is not my tomorrow. My now is not my future position. I say don't conclude my case. My case, don't conclude my case. Oh, the Lord is always by my side. You say about you the water you will got me. I say don't conclude my case. My case, don't conclude my case. Oh, my case I just started. My case is in the hands of Jesus Christ. Who are you meant to conclude my case? You will fall, but you will never succeed. Say, don't conclude my case. My case, don't conclude my case. 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 Don't conclude my case.
LIBERIA. prophesy to you, you will rise, you will shine, you will prosper in Africa. Yeah, the word. Liberia, sweet land of liberty, we prophesy to you, you will rise, you will shine, you will prosper in Africa. Yeah, the word.
From the ghetto to the political stage, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, or Bobi Wine, is Uganda's musician turned politician.
That transformation was the desire for me to speak for myself and those around me. So my music basically was like poetry, ghetto poetry. I mainly pushed it forward because I felt there was something to communicate.
Bobi Wine has since seen his profile rise. After winning a parliamentary seat in 2017, he is now a leading opposition figure in Uganda under his People Power movement. It aims to boost democracy, human rights and the rule of law in Uganda. In July this year, the 37-year-old opposition leader announced he'll stand in his country's 2021 presidential elections. He plans to run against Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who has been in power since 1986. Bobi Wine will be banking on a young generation to be behind him.
Our chances, in my estimate, are between 80 and 90% win, especially if we had a free and fair elections.
President Museveni has previously described Bobi Wine as an enemy of progress, saying the legislator has discouraged foreign investors from coming to Uganda. His political pathway has already proven a challenging one. He has in the recent past been arrested and prosecuted. But Bobi Wine says nothing will stop him. Bobi Wine hopes that the country's young people will be inspired by his ambition, and despite imagination of
office for more than 30 years, his government has arrested and prosecuted Bobi Wine several times, and the opposition figure has accused security forces of torturing him. But the 37-year-old is not holding back his ambition. In fact, he's now directly challenging President Museveni in elections expected to be held in 2021. But will his popularity be enough to get him elected? And what are his plans for the way forward? Uganda's Bobi Wine talks to Al Jazeera. Bobi Wine, leading opposition politician from Uganda, thank you for talking to Al Jazeera. And let me start by asking you to tell us what's wrong with things in Uganda right now.
I will try to be diplomatic and say many things are wrong, but if I was to be real, I would say almost everything is wrong, and it all begins with leadership. We have what many people describe as a kleptocracy for a government, which we hope to make better.
It's relatively recent that you've emerged on the political scene. You were, before that, a musician. Why did you decide to go into politics?
I'm a musician, social activist, and a ghetto youth who recently, I call it recent, but it's 2 years ago, decided to run and become a member of parliament.
So was it a natural evolution from that to politics, or was there a moment that made you decide to get involved in politics?
I would say it was a natural evolution, because initially, like any other young man, I was singing about the girls and the parties and everything. But, you know, over time, after realizing that indeed my music and my lyrics was influencing so many people, especially the young people, I decided to channel it to positivity, and it was working well. However, there's this one time about 10 or something years ago when I got a personal attack. I was beaten by my age mate, and my crime was showing off. That is the time when I had just gotten a brand new Escalade, and he claimed that I was showing off as if I didn't know that.
Showing off a flash car?
Showing off a flash car, as if I did not know that the country actually had owners. That communicated so much about the injustices that so many people had been going through in my full glare, and I decided to make injustice my enemy, and that is when I started singing what now the regime calls political music, trying to address those injustices. However, I reached a time when I realized I could not keep just talking about them through my music, and that's why I decided to get into actual politics so I could have a more formal platform in the Parliament of Uganda to address these issues, and that's what I've been doing.
And you've been an MP for 2 years now.
Yeah, I've been an MP for 2 years.
But the government's targeting of you has continued since you've been an MP. Not only is your music banned, your concerts banned, but you have faced attack. Tell me about the incident when your driver was killed.
Well, I said it the day I went to Parliament, that since the Parliament refused to come to the ghetto will come to the Parliament. I wanted to articulate those issues that the regime, the government, and those people that rule over us had ignored for a very long time. Of course, when I got into Parliament, it brought a lot of attention of the common people. They picked interest in the politics, and indeed they started pushing me and suggesting that I run for president. Now, this infuriated the president that we have, who has for a long time been regarded as all-powerful, and I started getting attacks, and the most ferocious attack was the assassination attempt on my life in Arua, which took the life of my driver instead of mine.
And you were arrested after that?
Yeah.
What happened to you when you were in custody? You were tortured, yes?
Well, I was tortured, I was beaten and humiliated. You know, the regime planted 2 machine guns on me, and the spokesperson of the National Police in Uganda actually came out and said those guns were found in my room, only to withdraw the charges just a week later.
That was in 2018.
Yeah.
This year, again, the attacks on you have continued.
Well, the attacks on me have continued, but not only me. And I always say that I feel honored to see that my plight is highlighted, but this is the same plight that so many people are going through, or even worse, people that are unknown, people that you will never know about. And that is why every opportunity I get, I try to shine a light on their plight, because I am only representative of what they are going through. The attacks have continued. I'm a musician, but my music has since effectively been banned in the country. I cannot stage any concert. I cannot be allowed to address a public gathering, not even in my constituency, which elected me to office. And yes, more than twice, I went to church, and the church was tear-gassed by the regime, because President Museveni and the regime that resides.
Yeah, because I always doing research and stuff. I said, no problem, man. I get ready, I put my phone on the floor, and I let it up there. So I do a lot of reading, so. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Is it passport?
My Liberian passport. Sorry, I keep asking, but can someone just pull down the mask? It clamps right under my eyelash.
Sure.
And they said,
You want me to pull down the mask? Yeah.
Sorry, boy. No problem. Because you have that mask.
You agree, bro?
Yeah.
Wait, do a call cards? You print call cards or this one different?
No, I am a businessman. I meet a lot of people. People exchange call cards, right? Go to conferences.
You don't need this?
Yeah, sure. We need that too.
This is important.
Yeah, in the ground there.
Those are permits for cars.
Call cards.
No, in that envelope are COVID-19 stickers that are given to my cars. The cars I can carry people to and from work. Health workers.
Yeah, we need that too.
Yeah. And I can share with you the letter applying
To this here?
Yeah, I can share with you. Probably need
Sure, that will be important. Sure, is that way you open it up?
Oh, you can confirm from my
How many there?
unused
Okay.
because the contract hasn't come in for some of them yet. Because maybe made it clear that unless a vehicle is being occupied by a health worker or the essential.
While having a one-time strong supporter of CDC and who is disappointed in a recent statement made by Minister Sametor. Let's say welcome, sir. What's your name?
I'm George Calicati.
George Calicati.
Yes.
Why are you disappointed?
I'm disappointed because CDC has banned my government from 2005 after the government never succeeded. But still, my failure, it hurt me a lot time, I never slept. But I had hope that once upon a time, the government will succeed. But what really making me to feel bad is that all the people that Joy were employed, they are just childhood friends. They're not responsible when it comes to ruling government. That's some statement that Samuel Toy made. Why can Samuel Toy supply the Liberian people? They were told that there will be full ration. People passing around, taking name, taking $20, $30, some play $50 in a village. Then Samuel Toy, the one that can speak in Joy, we are here before people know that Joy we are speaking. Is this Samuel Toy the information minister in the country? The money, what's supposed to have been produced to WSP or whosoever to produce a fee, is Samuel Toy are in the letter of the truth.
What did Samuel Toy say?
Samuel Toy said this identical ration, it will not go across the country. It will only be for a vulnerable people. Then you were sitting, you never do your homework. You let people go across the country and take people $30. Meaning that Samuel Toy, my question here to you, Emmanuel Digler, to tell Samuel Toy, is he some government worker that he don't do background investigation? Tell Samuel Toy if I gone to school to a certain level, which I know myself, that can be entered to the government, like how you can do. I will attack it, then the reason being is that Joy we are took social childhood friend. And you don't run government like that. They're not monarchy government you running here. You running government for nation.
What kind of government you running?
Monarchy government.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Don't take childhood friend. Take someone who will make the nation to know you. Joy we are being condemned by the outside world based on a government worker.
So you think who the best project we could take?
Well, let me know. I don't know the good person in LIBERIA here, but it determines who you know. It determines who's supposed to do the job. Don't take someone to go in a job. The person to learn a job before he start doing a job. These are the people job we are supposed to take.
So are you saying Samuel Toy learning?
He learning, man. Samuel Toy too inclined. But you know the problem I got with Samuel Toy? He always let to play with the air, but greedy man can always go to the airboy and leave the palm.
What do you mean?
Meaning that he doesn't want for the LeBron Paul to receive the money. He must leave in their cover against so they can devalue it. That's why they play on people. When you heard Prince Johnson seeing the last of that money, that chicken money, if from Samuel to around now, they finish holding you. Today.
Are you heard about the stimulus package?
It was clear.
So it hurting you?
It hurting my feeling. Seriously hurting my feeling.
The message of honorable people getting the money, getting that food.
It was not supposed to. But then the people who came to take a knee and mark people's house, they collect money across the country. It reached Samuel Toy now. They put bring back watch that they receiving food. And some to have not yet even asked for the enumeration that your did. Why is a record? So they can go all the record. Some to get work to someone to do, then he leave the job, a bypass the people and make one statement. Today, some to going to damage joy. We are government. Let me tell you something. I'm one of strong.
Are you there? Know that some to say the food never vulnerable people?
I get that. No, I didn't even know some to for 2005. American, we are suffer beyond joy. We are come to any power shopping Kakataya, down to gas study area. We accuse to the extent where the people can go against me. I did not dare say that's the right government we have. Then joy we have one point to control. Speaking hey, I'm talking about control. Speaking hey, speaking joy we do not have hey, joy we do not have sense, common sense. To know that Samuel Tue, for what he said to the Liberian people, vulnerable people, meaning that he are going against the Liberian.
Are you vulnerable?
I'm vulnerable too.
Wow.
Why am I vulnerable?
The reason being, but when I had a farm, I'm not working. Anybody that not working vulnerable.
So you worried that you're not getting on the food?
I'm worried that when I get on the food. And that also do not be my worry about. I'm worried that other people will not get it. And based on that, Samuel Tuena Joy, we are information minister. Let he start stopping right now. But I'm telling Joanna, I guess that why he dreamed that the dream has a press conference. Because if he not postponed for that, let him my rest out that he was postponed for that for the statement that Samuel Tuena made. It had damaged the whole country. You don't have to do it like that. And one good thing I will tell you. Samuel Tue, if he and Joy, we are in one caucus speaking together. What do I say? Let's do the announcement. But what we do, let's deal with the medical system, that is the doctor and the teacher and the security. Then you'll be doing something better. Meaning that, say, ladies and gentlemen, distinguish. Well, I want to tell you, we jam. We were not able to do across the board. But one deal with the people. The first class, the second and the third. Let me name them. The security that are responsible for the country. Let me take them for 2 months. Mr. Tue that you are speaking to. If Joy we are not know, you must tell him. Then, my brother, the education is very serious. You talk about education, can pay the poor. Mr. Tue, let me get the poor 2 months that you are speaking to. When it comes to the data, then that die. Our children, our daughter, then they just when they learn recently. They're not too good in that thing, but they're brave right now to defend the country because they say if we're not the one we afraid, then what our people will do. So they are not just join inside.
So you're regretting why you voted for the TDC?
No, I'm regretting, man, because if Joey have to tell me something, I will answer your question. I'm regretting. 2005 after now, what I suffer for Joey have made me to be veteran.
Yeah, how are you veteran?
I'm veteran. Joy, we have not come up with any kind of ruling that people will understand it. Joy, we are God, someone speaking here. Hey, Samuel Tue, Dollar Delantu confused me because one time he said when you get in the administrative building, there will be light. Then you host on that 6,000. That's a light. You off the whole light and call it land like again. Now. Let me get back to Kakata. Till then, Mr. Kakati leave Kakata or Sagabomata community.
Kakati, before you go to Kakata issue, are you worried that you got too much family that you're not able to feed?
I'm worried too much, man. I'm worried. Even though the president tell me to bone them, we've been right, but we've been doing free ride, meaning that we can get anything to do. But from in the morning, 6 to go 3, later, it ain't enough. Certain time go from in the morning to 3 they poke a bar from 3 to 4, 5 they poke a bar. You understand what I'm saying? I hope that the president maybe they speak the president supposed to get which a producer. I mean he postponed it. Let it be extended to 5 from 6 to 5.
The president already spoke. The same 14 days.
All right. Let me come down again to tell you something. I'm coming down to Emmanuel God. Tell you one of your cousins, you ain't on
Emmanuel God, the city mayor of Kakata.
City mayor of Kakata. You tell about one joy you ain't on Marine Bay.
Marine?
Your brother Lasana God.
You're for Marine? You're for?
Emmanuel God, we are law war, we ex-combatants. Yeah. I have been in the press.
folks, welcome to this evening broadcast of from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. I am Afonso Zianso right here this evening. What an interesting and fascinating happenings in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia, a little country there. To want to welcome our people, of course, one of the veterans, political commentator, SK. Good to have you here, Sekou Kane. Man, oh man, it is quite interesting and fascinating to what is happening in the Republic of Liberia. I am so upset. But we want to do the best we can to have an honest conversation. But I can tell you, hearing these diverse view of people outside of government, we are in trouble. The government is in trouble. The opposition is in trouble. And the entire nation's length and breadth, we are in trouble. No one will listen to him because he's not on Capitol Hill. It is quite interesting what the old man was saying. And these are some of the things that people, when people talk, you are bent labor. But you know what? We have a piece of job to do. Every now and then, the government of the Republic of Liberia, the opposition, they will create a drama, unnecessary scene to distract us from keeping focus on things that are happening in the country. It's just unbelievable. You have a government that is insensitive to the plight of the people. You have the opposition that does not have the courage, that does not have the tone, that it also aiding what the government is doing. And you have the citizenry themselves. We are also part and parcel of it. And there's a reason that we're playing these multiples of videos to give you a sense of what is happening. The young 37-year-old opposition leader Bobby Wine in Uganda, who was in that interview with Al Jazeera. He's a member of the parliament, like in our country, we say representative. You saw him. His driver was killed. His driver, imagine, member of the parliament, his driver was killed. But yet and still tolerance and resilience is still within him because he knows very well the task that he embarked on. It's not about his house. It's not about family issue. It is a country that, of course, where you're going to have diverse people and people with different beliefs and ideology. And then he sit down in front of the camera to tell that journalist from Al Jazeera what is happening. Our government, our opposition, I don't even know. That's my view. Anybody can call here when we open the lines. You will have the right to debunk what I'm going to be saying here. As far as I'm concerned, the government, the opposition, they are all dining and they are all in bed the same way because they are not projecting. They are not being seen as an alternative. To me, it could be you. And I'm not putting you all, I am putting you on the garment of the liberalization policy of a country, of a sovereign nation, to one of the oldest on the face of this earth, and to mention Africa, to see all that is happening. Today, again, while we are in the midst of this, government failing to address these critical issues. You saw the old man there outside of Monrovia. And this is why we are saying Monrovia alone is not the Republic of Liberia. It's just minute. You have 14 or 15 political subdivisions. Mosorado is out, and you have the other 14. The old man said he has been member of this ruling party or been supporting this party from day one up to this point. But somebody will look at it, oh, he's insane, or maybe he's not to himself. But he uses some key words. He say, I am victimized. I am afraid that I will not even get the rest. And not only I am afraid, but other will not. So he's not a self-seeking, belly-driven person that just only of himself. When he gets it, when his family fall, then other people, he doesn't care. That was not the kind of tone that I got. So when people interpret or see his conditions or whatever and begin to render judgment. People of the government supporter side, maybe he doesn't know what he's saying, but you must look into his thoughts. Look into his thought. He said, when you're supposed to be paying the medical people, the teachers, the security of the state is vital. Even though they are annoying because of their attitude, indiscipline, unprepared to get things done based. You saw the video there going to search and he using his own bare hand. You allegedly going to someone who allegedly to be a corporate or whatever person of interest that you want to talk to, and you're going to gather evidence and you putting your fingerprint all over the place like you're swallowing fufu. Who does that? And that's what the old man is saying. The security, our doctors, the nurses. Yeah, he left no stone unturned. I see the authenticity in him as a Liberian and as somebody who loves the country. And then he came back to say, yeah, somebody came who also gave me the courage and also to resurrect me and try to put me in a human spirit of being an actual Liberian, and perhaps will gain my rightful standing as a human being of this country, yeah? Instead of he turning the light on until the light is off and take that money. Folks, people are not stupid in our country. It's because of people that are in desperation and things are so hard. Our politicians, our stakeholders continue consistently abusing people socially, morally, economically, in all sort of ways, to the extent that some people worrying to take their life and they left them with no alternative. It's because no one is giving them courage. So I don't believe in the politicians. I do not believe in what the government is doing. I do not need believe in the opposition because there is no coherent message. There is no cohesiveness. They are not tackling the issue. They are merry-making out and downing with the CDC ruling party, even though they are arguing about them that they are doing things out of the way, but they become selective. And then we found out both government supporters and opposition supporter, they are adapted. There is an addiction in them now. This sort of a blame game, giving justifications to their actions, and not even being apologetic. They are not even willing to admit wrong to the Liberian people, even if they did it. There will be justification. I take this 1 year and I decide to do this 1 year. The other people don't do this 1 year. Folks, we are in serious trouble. See it from my own ocean state. I see that. Good evening and welcome. It is annoying. It is annoying what is happening. And beyond annoying, it is dangerously dangerous what is happening in our country. You have the government is doing it. The opposition is doing it. People in the advocacy community doing it. They do not even have the courage to even call out their people if they are even doing wrong. So it means they are putting the interest of the country first, then that, putting the interest of the individual first, then that of the country. And that's one of the reasons of many that we do not have established institutions in the country. Because we glorify, we dignify, we solidify, and we elevate our politicians, even if they are not even doing it the right way. You can't have a nation like that. You can't have a country like that. Until the government of the Republic of Liberia began to direct its tone to the citizen and began to reassure the citizen that they are in charge, they are not leaders of one institution or one time a political institution, that one contested an election, but the election has come and gone and you are in a governing stage. And you need to understand that. At the same time, the opposition, no one going to go untouched here this evening. Because I am not saying the alternative to what is happening. So even if election were to be held today, hell going to break loose. It's not just only saying we're going to do this. You must be action-oriented. Why you say you don't just talk, you must do it. And that's what is not happening. The opposition does not have the courage to stand up. They do not know as representative, you represent your constituents. Anything you want to do, decisions, critical decisions, like you and I know in this country here, I don't care how critical it is, whether you are Republicans, whether you are a Democrat. At some point in time, these people, they will take their break, they will go back to their constituencies and going to have a town hall meeting and say, whatever decision I'm taking is not just only for Democrat, not just only for Republican, but for the good of my country and my constituent. Why? Because these people are the ones that elected you. And the senators, you represent the county. You represent the county. So you are like a twin father or you are like a twin mother. Whatever goes on in District 1 to District 2 to District 3, it is of your concern. You have to address it. But until, the hypocrisy and the sycophants that is in us as a Liberian, when it is good for you, c'est bon, Frenchmen say. And you don't care your next door neighbor. That's the problem that we are having. And that leads to power struggle. You want to gain a rightful standing. It is good for you. So you don't care how the other person, he or she, feels. When it is good, so be it. We are unwilling to have concrete conversations about our country. We are unwilling to incorporate ideas. I don't care how bad it is, but to sit down, that's one of the reasons people, the civilized people, the table, when they say conference, you sit on the other side, I sit on the other side, you bring your ideas, I bring mine, he bring his, or whatever the case, and we put them together, and eventually they are condensed and begin to sort out what is right. Our opposition, they don't do that. The government, they don't. Both the government, the opposition, they manage crisis. They are crisis managed people. They are not productive. They only come together when there is a crisis within, and right after that, everybody start cussing the hell out of people. The leaders don't even have they do not even have control over these very political, these little institutions that they have. They do not have control over that. It is scary. Until our leaders, until those, if you want to be a politician, if you want to be an advocate, and if you want to be in the liberation struggle to change things that are happening in the country, then you don't need to be wearing diaper. You don't need to be going to Walmart to be wearing pampers and just be crying and crying. Because you know why? There is no pain. If there's no pain, there is no gain. You know the history of one of Africa's best. Nelson Mandela, Mao Zedong, and all of these great civil rights leaders. There is a uniqueness, there is a history. These people, they laid their lives down, they went through pains, tribulations, torture, mayhem to their family. Why? Because there is a reason. They felt that certain things are not happening in their country or in societal ills were going on. Certain people have been disadvantaged. Certain people perhaps been denied as not being Liberian or not being American. And so these people took up the government to say, we're going to lead this cause. And in the process of leading that cause, it is conducted with responsibility, sense of conscience, and to make sure security is maintained. But we have the government, we have the opposition. Also, they are not projecting themselves. Nothing. One day the government distract us from things that we're supposed to be focusing on, to be talking as a people, as a nation, to find a common ground. The next day, the opposition come and kick the can down the road. Oh yeah, then you see their talk show hosts or their supporters, their surrogates, like themselves come and give justifications to the action without them having a sense of conscience to say, it is not, I'm not talking about my house. This is a country, a sovereign nation. Is not about whether your woman want to divorce or you cut your woman or man with boyfriend, girlfriend. No, that's not country. That's not what we're talking about. So when you have these tons of social problems that are pounding you and getting you to not be thinking right, then of course you need to step aside, because the game of politics is a hardcore business. Very, very hard. So people who wants to be leader, you're going to have a thin skin. Little thing can just trickle you. You don't just rush before Spoon TV, 4TV, LPR TV, and maybe go to my friend SK and start crying. No, sometimes when these things happen, you allow a day or two, because you're going to have some crazy supporters who are not far-sighted, who do not have that calculative mind that whatever you speak tomorrow, people history will judge you on that. And that more importantly, friends of Liberia, people that are within the diplomatic cycle, they are keen, they are watching, because of their status. They are not allowed to partake into the political process in the countries that they are being accredited, but they are also looking to see the maturity in the institutions of those who are even seeking leadership. They don't know that. Every freaking day from Sunday to Sunday, Monday, press conference. When you go look, CDC headquarter press conference. When you look, Liberty Party headquarter press conference, Samson Brown told. Yes, I hope he called here this evening as well. We'll have a quick thing to it has become like they just showcase themselves. Yes, they try to exonerate themselves to be the guy, to be the one who is clean and who is shine. But in reality, that's not it. Liberian people are sick and tired with press conferences. And that's one of the reasons we see it now. It has become like a tradition. People is like a custom now. One have it today, the another group have it today, the other group have it today, the other one have it today. And they don't even answer any good question. They bully the journalists. Despite of the limited resources that they have, when they ask them questions, then they turn around, they ask them without even answering the question, or because they want to be in the face or in the eyes of the public that someone is advocating or somebody is doing. I am interested in someone that will be action-oriented. I am interested in a lawmaker who will put a piece of legislation, who will work in a bipartisan level. I am interested, a Liberty Party senator or representative will call a CDC and say, you know what, this weekend here, before even this coronavirus or whatever, we need to have a lunch together. How many of them does that? Nothing. When Yaka Koluba opens his mouth, he insults. When Sir Joseph talk, he insults. When Darius Dillon, who happens to be the darling of the opposition, so when he gets there, he called names. You have been seen as a deal or kingmaker. You're supposed to use that, even though your party or your supporter, and that's the distinction, that's the difference. When you are in leadership, you can't behave the way that you used to behave. You become more moderate. Why? Because you have a tiger goal. You have something that you are working towards. When you insult, when you use vocal language, and when you begin to call name, how can you call me at a conference table when you have used all of the bad words that you think that you can use? What courage do I have to sit down for us to even share glasses? The 30 senators within the Republic of Liberia, men, women, girl, boy, the Senate, all of them, they are a complete disgrace to that country. They are disgrace. Yes, you are here. Some of us not even get. I was telling me like, yeah, we don't know what going on. You can't call any number. Nobody is answering you. Some people who are not been working, they are benefited. Why? Because Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi, because even though they are not friendly, Pelosi to remember during the State of Unions and went like this at Donald Trump his State of Union speech, because he too turned his back. He another cuckoo here. He also turned his back, and Nancy Pelosi decided to pay back. But you know why? They did not allow these people. They did not allow that personal things that within their belly. They put it aside. And Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi, and the Democrat House or Senate leader, they decided to come together and say, this is what we need to do to hard-working or suffering American. And that's how the stimulus came together. Yes, where is our stimulus? Our senators, they pay themselves first. And then you want to tell me, say, these are people that are there for you? And that somebody want to come and get justification so you get it because you get somebody zing, you're baying latrine, you divine this, you're doing that. Other people carrying bucket, they putting picture on it. And you, Liberian, you sit there, you condone that. Nobody have the courage, whoever that you are supporting, to call them and tell them, say, no, you are heading in the wrong direction. Nobody. Beyond that, 2 months ahead, when nurses, that's why the women were talking. When nurses were crying, when doctors, healthcare, with the limited resources, no glove, nothing, some of them no transportation, they take the risk, ride motorbike, live in Ghana Bay, Paynes Bay, or all across the city, Rapper Field, wherever, and go into their assigned places to save life. And these 30 greedy men and women of the Republic of Liberia call themselves senators. They decided to pay themselves 2 months. That's why the women were talking. And they didn't stop there. They decided to ration. And you know, I was a refugee before. We used to go and receive a full ration in Sierra Leone and other places before getting here. Yeah, they just gave it. Free money. They divided among themselves. And some decided to play smart and say, okay, even though I get it now, but I'm going to portion it. You are not doing good for us. That's not what the Liberian people sent you there for. And what a minute. Let me ask this question here, and somebody might talk to me. Don't they have committees in both houses of government? The lower and the upper house with oversight responsibility? Yeah, I was listening to Darrell's Dillon this morning on T-Mac show. T-Mac, and that's what we said, that we issued that commentary the other day. They are the people that they are causing problem. He another disgrace because he accepted gift from politician. You as a media person that sit behind the microphone, your job is not to protect politicians, not even the president of the Republic of Liberia, whether you are a journalist or not. As long as you are in the process or you are disseminating information, you are telling things to people that is happening, you have to put yourself in a neutral position. You are responsible for the citizenry, not the president, not opposition. And if you accept gift from a politician, especially someone that is seeking high-profile office, what you have done to you have put a dent on it. So the opposition, the government, and everybody behaving the same way. So wait a minute. When lies the opposition, or even the government, those people that we elected, whether they're from the government or the opposition, when lie these people even call the presidential committee that was appointed by the president? How many months or weeks now? The Ebola cousin or nephew, whatever it is, COVID-19. When last this committee has called on Mary Broad to tell her they're waiting. That's what I'm saying. They're all there to manage crisis. They're waiting when chaos, when something happens, then they take their Chinese phone, Indian phone, American phone, and then they start sitting there in their dark tinted glasses car, air cool, nobody see them, you just see the tire rolling, and then they say they're going live, and they profess to be in the interest of the people, and the so narrow-minded persons, Liberians, who are quick to, who are not calculative, who are not critical thinkers. They say, yeah, this person is there for all. Speak. When are they waiting? What are they waiting for to call Madam Mary Broad and this committee? With all of this inside biggerings and fight, this person is now on the committee, this other person is not on the committee. What are they waiting for? In fact, The bill that they all unanimously passed, the $25 million that we are talking about, those people, if Liberian people send those people back to their seat, then no need. Then no need. Whoever even asked that question as to how that money, that amount was derived, whoever got the guts to ask that question? Yes. You don't blame the president. It's all over the world. When the president wants his agenda to pass, there are some other political tactics or maneuvering they will deploy because they want to. Why you think you in the country here, you in this country here? There's always a political bargain both from the government and the opposition. The government, when the government sends something, the opposition will make their demand and they will consolidate and they will get it done. I have all reason, no doubt. Man, Yaka Kaloba say, I have no regret that those people, they knew what they did to the Liberian people. They knew, if you don't know, I know what they did, because there are going to be a heavy financial reward of the 6,500, pretty close to 195 or 200,000 at the time when Liberians, when health workers, people that were supposed to get paid, they were not paying them. But these men and women that we elected with the hope that they're going to represent us, with the hope that they're going to be there to advocate for us, no matter their political affiliation, they decided to pocket themselves, pocket their money, their pens and their dresses and whatever, to make a stockpile food in their house, and then left the ordinary Liberian vulnerable. Then they turn around after 1 or 2 days, they buy a plastic bucket for you to wash your hand. Where you not eat before you go and wash your hand? Giving you chloride to make your nails to pee. Then later on they come to you, you're gather. And then you're cheering them up. I feel too bad. I feel too bad. All of these parties. Where is TWP today? Where is the powerful National Democratic Party of Liberia, NDP? You are living witness. Where is the Unity Party now? Look at the state of Unity Party. Yes, NDP, how you call it, CDC is doing all the MPP the day of Taylor. I'm going to sound a little bit ridiculous here to see, and I know people are going to get upset, and that's it, because why? I feel strongly my country is bleeding, and all of us are playing hypocrisy at the zenith, at the highest level. And we profess that we love our nation. We cheer our political, call themselves political leaders. I hosted Dr. Dube Nyan here the other day, and he said something very consequential, very important. I'm going to be picking up your call, but just please hold on here. Let me just finish with this little monologue or talking point. He said there's no political leader. The opposition, the pressure group. Look, you have to be responsible. If you want to lead, this is not a play game. If you want to be a child, then get a pacifier and let them put it in your mouth and be sucking. Don't talk about leading our country. Because it comes with responsibility, sound thinking, good judgment. It comes with good judgment. Yes, this is what CDC told a couple of years ago. And Liberians, people never had the courage to even question the authenticity, the agenda of these people when they were in the opposition. But because people personally, or whatever reason, Helen Johnson's or the Unity Party, yes, Liberians, I know them very well. They are people they are always anxious and zealous of change, and not knowing the kind of change that they want without even asking the questions that they're supposed to ask. Or because of personal attachment. Yes, I want to rally around Alfonso because we went to the same school, we were in the same refugee camp in Waterloo, we went to Ghana, and we came on the same airline, passed through to UK and then to in America, and so when Alfonso get it, I'm all set. You don't care for the other people. That's why it's happening. Insecurity. People begin to incorporate. But if I have my own way, I don't see the leader that can manage or conduct the affairs of that country right now. I don't see. Not even Cummings, not Benana Ure, not Joseph Boyka, not George Weah. Nobody that I see. Why? Because I am not seeing a sense of good leadership. Someone who is willing to step up to the task, or someone who is leading group of people that is willing to take the bullet. I'm not talking about physical bullet, my folks. Yes. But someone who is willing to take responsibility of their institution. Not people who will justify. Justification of something is another sign of weakness. When you are a leader, or when you are a position and you are not, if you are unwilling to even take a responsibility of your followers, but you will only give justifications of their action, that tells me when you become leader tomorrow, you're going to be like a Dracula as well. Yes, the citizens, or there are some of the folks, and most of them, they are unapologetic. That's how they started it, and that's what you are doing. Every now and then, you distract us. You make the Liberian people to lose hope as if they do not even fund the nation. This is so embarrassing to some of us. Not just only the government. We can't cast all of the blame on the government. Yes, the government should lead the way. But okay, so let somebody talk to me here. If the government is not doing it the right way, then you have to do it too, or you're paying there. We start paying there from Tottenham Town from his open door policy, which I consider closed door policy, because all of them get us to be where we are today. Somebody did it yesterday and it walked free. So this other person going to do it today. Hey, the poor did it the last time they did it. Who talks? So is that how we're going to build our nation? I did it yesterday, and I get away with it. So you're going to do it, and when you do it wrong, we should let you go as well. That's not how nation's supposed to be. You saw the men and women of both houses of government here. They never pay themselves first. They decided to unanimously come to a consensus and say we're getting trillions of dollars to give the hard-working American. Some of y'all 1,200 gone. We not even smell it before we get to know. As y'all, some of all we even get our own here. We're calling IRS. Nobody talking to us, only machine. So if the lawmakers here, if you are going to do that here, you are going to be happy. But your lawmakers, the people that you are supporting, the people that we all elected, they decide to put money in their pockets. 2 months when doctors, nurses, hard-working people, they wasn't getting. They not stop there. Let me just take some call here and I'll be going in the middle here. Hello, caller. What's your name, and where are you calling from?
Mason, I'm calling from Dallas-Fort Worth.
Dallas-Fort Worth. Good evening. How are you today?
I'm all right. How you doing?
I am not fine. I don't want to. I don't want to conceive something here. I don't want to put out a face here. I am not fine because my country is hurt. My country is bleeding. Lack of leadership. Both government, the opposition people are behaving irresponsibly, and as the result, this is where we are today. Go ahead with your point. You have the right to debunk me and give your version of the story. Go ahead.
It's not a matter of debunking you, but so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
The problem with leadership in our country has to do with our people who are on ground. And I keep saying this thing, I will say it on every platform I have the opportunity. Our people always elect leaders for themselves, their individual reason. It's never for the good of the masses. And when I say our people, most of our people listen to half or so-called educated people to make a decision on who to vote for. And 90% of the time, the half or so-called educated people will only drive our people, the mass of our people, into the direction of their selfishness. You know that John Brown is not a good person, will not make a good leader. But because you are friendly with John Brown, you push his agenda and convince the people that John Brown will make a good leader. So when things happen,
yeah, okay, let's make it. Let's wrap it up so other people will come on. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
yeah, those are the same people you see defending such people. And the opposition is no exemption. And people, right now, nobody asking a question that is necessary to the opposition. The opposition wants leadership, but nobody asking a necessary question. So yeah, our country is bleeding, but our country is bleeding because of education. Let me make one example in my closing statement. The president of Liberia, the current president of Liberia, made college and junior college education for government, for public institutions free. But he did not consider, and those people were rejoicing. They did not consider that the primary and secondary schools must be free for the tertiary school to be free.
Okay,
in 30 seconds
to bring in the next caller. Yes. So what's your recommendation?
Because my recommendation to the Liberian people is that start asking the question such that you will be able to hold people accountable for the things that they're supposed to do. That's my recommendation. Let's educate the masses to do that.
Okay, thank you.
We must educate the masses.
All right. Hopefully they're willing to learn. Okay, let me go to this number here. We came on very late. We're going to continue this talking point. Hopefully tomorrow, the Liberal will be on here. 971 number 4650. Good evening, caller. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hello, hi.
My name is...
I'll tell you.
No, that's my number. This is Bernard Goa from Woodland, Oregon.
Yeah, Goa will come to you. Is that 971? I believe 971. Yes. Is that Bernard?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let me not take your show. I believe it's Carter will come here. Yeah, Goa. How are you, my man? How you doing? How are your area there?
Well, my area is fine. We're staying safe. We're concerned about people back home. We're also concerned about the current administration.
Right.
Liberia has a long way to go. And both the current government and the opposition, I don't think they get it. From 1821 up to now, Liberia has not produced a practical career-oriented person. I'm not talking about a soccer player and somebody who did bookkeeping and only to go over there and not know what to do. I'm talking about engineers that will push this country forward. If you look at all of the government officials right now, you ask them about their level of education and what they can do to the best of their ability with minimal guidance.
Bernard, I don't even know this education. Does it really matter again? We saw why Helen Johnson Sirleaf. We see George Weah and all these people. What I think is happening is a lack of interest. A lack of interest. They do not have interest. They are not honest to themselves and to the country. I think that's a boy because all of the doctors, Amon Claudius Sawyer government, all of the doctors, Helen Johnson Sirleaf, all of the doctors and people that were there. But why they do not have interest in their country? That's I think probably I could be wrong.
No,
they don't love or they do not just love their country. Period.
No, that's not just all. But if you elect a man who is an electrician, if all break loose, if everything goes wrong, he will regress to what he can do to the best of his ability and make sure that the entire country is electrified so that the next president will not have to worry about electricity. If you elect a president who is an agriculturist, who is a soil scientist, if he's not even able to handle the health status, he will make sure that the country can feed itself. Then the next president will not have to worry about feeding the country.
Right.
And then go ahead and elect somebody who did road construction. He's kind of a civil engineer or some kind of a construction engineer. If he's not able to do anything, he will make sure that all the roads are paved all over the country. But in 10 years' time, if we elect presidents
But
in our
yeah,
leaders
but
like
you,
that.
but unfortunately, I'm not here too long for a long time yet to go to the other. But that's what will happen. George Weah did not come up with plans, and the Liberian people they look at popularity contest and they put it in there. And that's the same thing the opposition they are doing now. I have not seen any strategic plan or policy on the part of these people here. And so I am of a guess that they are also moving in the directions of the same thing that George Weah did, and he was successful. That's how they are trying to get themselves. That's the direction they are moving in as well.
And you are 100% right. If you look at the opposition right now, they are all talking people. Look, we don't need talking people in Liberia. The whole country can talk already. Okay? The entire country can talk.
The people are traumatized, so obviously they're going to talk. But why you talk the substance of your talk? That's what we're looking at, the action part, what will be implemented. That's what we're looking at.
We need practical action. Some other counties say they have doctorate degree, they have this in history, in political science, in or sociology, and all of that.
Let me go to the next caller here. Yeah, let me go to the next caller. Thank you so much. Buffer Chambers 3-4 times I have interviewed him when he was in the opposition. See his behavior now in government. I mean, these people. Yeah, is that Koto?
No, Mr. Folders T. I'm calling from New Jersey.
Oh, okay. Good evening. How are you? What's from New Jersey? All right, thank you. Welcome. How are you this evening? How everything on our end?
Everything we try.
Okay.
We can get in there.
All right. Please be safe. All right. Go ahead.
Thank you. Mr. Phil, there's a couple of things you said today that really intrigued my mind. Everything you said, I had a same conversation with somebody on Sunday. You understand? Now, there's a crisis that going on in the country. You put the country on lockdown, right? But you managed to pay the government worker 2 months in advance.
Don't say government. When you say government worker, then the people will not understand. They pay their senator.
Okay.
they pay their senator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. They make about what, $15,000-$12,000 a month, right? Imagine you giving somebody $30,000 on the spot each person, and you put your rice in plastic bag for the common people, and you put them on the lockdown.
They go into bed 3 o'clock. What?
Okay.
How long, sir? They were even get it right before the whole thing finished? They were not even get it.
That's it. And I said to somebody, I said, there's nothing wrong with the lockdown. But clarify it. That's my way of looking at it, me personally. If I say a lockdown, I would say, okay, from 6 to 6, no later than 8 o'clock, the maximum, everybody should be in the house. That's enough time for everybody to find food, get what they need to get, knowing that these people don't have refrigerator, don't have microwave like some of them do. They have to go in the street every day to look for food, okay? And then you pay all this money to these people that as well, giving them bonus checks. You understand? Why the people
they are unconscious. Okay? They don't have conscience.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
That's what I'm saying. You see, in America, you see all the people Donald Trump appointed that in the government, even when the COVID-19 came about, you saw the senator that right now they're trying to investigate. All those people have money to seek their own interest. What they did was they put money into their campaign, and so he appointed them to make the money back.
Exactly.
And mind you, wherever you put poor man somewhere, he don't care about the rest of the people. That's what's going on. And some of the reason of all the elections in Liberia, people not voting for the future and the children's future. They're voting because they like the person. Oh, man, we came a long way. I like him.
No,
in the area when I was suffering, he bought me stuff. You understand? It's unconstitutional. It's inhumane what Liberian people going through. Okay? For you to pay one person $30,000.
You know the thing here.
All these people suffering.
It boils my...
And then they say the country is at peace. The Mananda said peace. There's no peace in Liberia. People are being intimidated. Look at the man that just been at a state building for July speech.
Yeah, a couple of days ago, our correspondent, our correspondent in Sando County, a lady with a child on the back because the woman came outside and 3 police officers. And I was asking my own friend, brother, the other day were giving justification. These are just little things. Are you kidding me? That somebody was brutal like what? Who knows the long-term effect on that lady moving forward? Nobody gonna give her treatment. Nobody gonna. She could have some sort of internal thing going on in the system.
And you don't even know whether she alive or not, because there's no hospital in the country to take you to jail. Can you just lay there? and then you beat up somebody for doing the work. Then people ask, why you in America, you can come into open business. If I'm going to take my money that I work hard for America to open business in Liberia, where I have to hire people, I don't need to tip on the blackmail, baby, cold water, or nothing. And that's what I do there. And for the fact that to pay all these people all the money and give them bonus and putting rice into after bag for the people.
So what? Yeah. So then let me ask you here before I go to the next person. In the midst of all of that, and that's exactly what I was talking about here. I was senators, and 4 years ago, I had an interview with my own congressman, David Cicilline. And that's why he was shocked. He and Adam Kensigan of Illinois went to Liberia, and he came, and when they realized the amount that our lawmakers are making, he said, I can't believe what's going on in your country. He sat down there. But here we are, right? All of these things here. And that's why I say the senators, representatives, they are no exception to this problem. Whether you for the government, you are for the opposition, because it is their job to hold the executive branch of government responsible. Yes. They did not ask all of the questions needed. They did not even ask as to how that $25 million came into place. There was no long-term. They are like a shadow. Where their shadow stopped, they're not even looking at as a country that, oh, we don't even know how long this thing going to go. There was no planning. They did not even see anything, how distribution, nothing. But all they were concerned with, because when they signed that, and that's what I said, they ration the money among themselves. They signed that money, hey, we're going to be it. And that's what they did.
The reason that so many people going into power in Liberia, going for these things, everybody trying to be rich and build a big mansion up the hill. And number two, all of them are getting all this money. Me and somebody had the same conversation like I said for me. They need to look at the word senator and representative. Representative, you represent people that voiceless.
Well, I think, my dear, those people have different definitions. They have different definitions.
It's not for yourself. The meaning of representative is to represent somebody who appointed you. If I can't speak, you can speak on my behalf. But I don't think they know that. Okay? I don't think they know that. Everybody get bucket, they put a name on it, they line up plastic bags, they get people. What about you giving a father a job?
But that's what I'm saying. They always, that's our leaders. They always manage crisis. Okay, so what's your recommendation? They don't look at a long-term goal. They don't look at a long-term goal. They just say, and they don't know any strategic plan. They talk. All of them just talk. They don't put any piece of legislation to alleviate, to cut down those things. They don't do it. And so some of us,
and when they don't understand, these people, they will give you that job. So then the same people can take the job for you. But once you arrive and you say, oh, okay, there are other people behind me, I put me there, I don't care. Now don't come back to my place, clean all your car windows.
But that's why the people back. That's why the people back in there. That's why the people back in there.
You know, that's what's going on. You know, it's wrong. I don't know how we can fix this, but it's getting worse every day. It's getting worse. I don't know how we can fix it. And there's another thing. There are so many public schools in Liberia. Why don't you fix all the public schools and make it an open thing where everybody can send their children to? Like when we were growing up, private school are optional with your parents. If they want to stay in the private school, they send you. But public school are always available to go to.
Okay,
you
before
can't even pay teacher, you can't even pay nurses, but you can give somebody $30,000 or a month in advance.
And that's what I said. These people, they are dishonest, they are rogues, they don't love the country. Botswana, when the coronavirus, when it hit Botswana, Rwanda, one of these countries, we get it. What happened in Rwanda? Government officials, they cut 10% of their income to cement what were coming to the international community. But our people, instead, they flip the coins around and say, okay, it's time for us to enrich themselves. What's your recommendation? What's your recommendation?
That's the recommendation, but they don't listen. You know what I'm saying? Instead, I put it like this. I'm saying for me personally, if the table was to turn, if I was president or whoever in the U.S. that I'm going to, And another thing before I get to that point, another thing that people do all the time, right? Most people leave for English country and
Okay,
to go to Liberia.
okay, let's do this way. Hold on the line here. Usually, women don't call, so folks, that's what I'm trying to give her time. But let me just hold on line if you have.
Quick point of breaking, then we will get there.
Okay, go ahead.
There's something we always do, right? Most of us in Liberia come to America and other countries, but mostly America, right? Most of these people that leave this country, you understand? I'm working. I can find job any day, anytime in America. But these people leave for here, go to Liberia, get all the top position, and they can even check behind them to see whatever position they had in America or whatever degree that they took back there, whether the degree was real or fake, and they just gave a top position. My recommendation, each one of those people that paycheck should be cut to $5,000 a month, and no gas, no nothing, no whatever.
One of the poorest nations on the planet, why will representative be making 5,000 and you have teachers and nurses making that? Why did it is? That's why people. I've been there. I've gone there when you go Capitol Building and more than Job Market. And that's the reason, because of that huge money, free money that they are getting. Some of them do not even have offices in their constituents, nothing. They give them all sort of unnecessary bonuses and benefits. That's why the people go there to beg, because you are not putting a system in place that will empower them. And that's why Liberian people like. The people should be behind them. Yes, a chi boss man. Open car door for them. Thank you so much.
You know, that's it. But that's why I would recommend $5,000 a piece. And if you want to break it down every 2 weeks, 2005, no gas slip, no nothing. Take your paycheck, take the job, leave it, take it or leave it. Because we have to serve the people. The country already
I feel bad. The ordinary people are there, but other than that, I would say Corona's still there. Let's see who, when they get sick, where they're going to go get treatment. Nobody can go now. Yeah, Muna Youngblood, she in Ghana right now. The boycotted, undercut this thing, because why you can't stay in your country? They prefer, they're not willing to help, they're not willing to upgrade to make JFK that used to be the JFK years that we know. So when anything happens, they fly, they get out of the country and leave the old people there.
Because she's scared to die, so she's going to another country to reach them by paying their health care.
Then when they come by and say they come by and say the mouse.
And then she will come back to renew her money.
The mouse.
She'll come back there to renew her money. Because the money is good, so she'll come back while thinking, let them put it and go back. All these people make you sick, Minister. So I'll talk to you. Thank you. I will watch the show.
Thank you so much. Those people there, I know what we need to do now. Okay, let me come to this number here now, 73 number 6707. Good evening, caller. What's your name and where you calling from? 971 number 4650. Are you there?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, my name is.
Well, that was my number, but you can go ahead since I've already talked.
Yeah, but now you spoke for it, right? Let me bring I meant to call this number.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for my recommendation. You haven't asked me for that.
So. Okay, you want to go ahead with it before I bring in Saki?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Here we always, when we punch and point, be a government opposition, even though other people freak them out, we don't care. We are talking, if you know that you get a high blood pressure and your cholesterol can go up, don't come on this network here when we are talking about Liberia, because we're going to look and critically talk on this issue. We don't talk on things that you want to hear. We tell you things that you need to know. And that's one of the reasons get a country to be where it is. We're not just here to entertain. We need to open people's eyes. Go ahead. As we talk to our leaders, we talk to our people who want to be leaders, we also make a recommendation. That's why we don't do it. So, Bernard, how can we get out of this thing here? If we were to maybe talk to the president or the opposition bloc.
Yeah, one of the best things we can do as a people is to examine those that are seeking to be our leaders, to examine their track records. Okay? There are three things that should happen in Liberia in order for this country to get back on the right trajectory to stability. One, the country needs to be able to feed itself. I just heard my sister talking about they were putting food in plastic bags and selling to people. Any country that is not able to feed itself cannot prosper. And how will Liberia feed itself? Agriculture, and not just smallholder or farm, mega agricultural project. And Liberia has to send people abroad to be able to learn how to map.
Yeah, okay, let's wrap it up.
Any country that does not have electricity, there's no way it can prosper. It cannot grow economically. All of the things you see people are producing around here because they have constant electricity, so the factories can run, they can do everything. The third aspect that I want to recommend is all-weather road construction from Ghana straight to Harper. Why? Because when you look at Liberia right now, compared to its counterpart within the region, the moment you enter Cote d'Ivoire, you will not touch Dusty Road until you get to South Africa or until you get to the Strait of Gibraltar across into Spain. But when you get into Liberia, from Capeta, from Ghana all the way to before hitting people, you just be on the Dusty Road, and if you go by the sea coast, it's also dusty. So we need roads so that investors will come in, so they can be able to invest in Liberia. Then you have farm to market road. The third aspect, the fourth aspect now that I want to recommend, we need people of conscience. The judiciary system. Let the Liberian government invest into translating the constitution into the 16th vernacular. When you do so, if a man violates the law, the policeman arrests that man, the man will already know what he can do and what he can't do. He knows where his rights end and where government rights begin from. But you cannot arrest a man, tell him that he violates the law that is written in a foreign language. No matter how you interpret it, you cannot interpret the Liberian Constitution using English and then it will reflect my crown language, my crown dialect.
Okay.
So the government has to convert that constitution to the 16th vernacular, put it on cassette or DVD so that our people can know the law. If you are violating the law, you're violating the rights, they can know. If the AG people, if they can, revenue, or how they call it, man, I was in Basel.
Yeah, 30 seconds. I want to take a quick break before I break in the callers in. Yeah, go ahead quickly.
Okay, so these are my recommendations. If the AG people can convert the Bible and record it into 10, the Bible is bigger than our Constitution. We can convert it to the 16 languages so our people will know what they can do because government is preaching on the rights of the people and using a law that is not even interpreted in their own vernacular.
Okay.
So these are my recommendations.
All right. Hopefully, government supporters people are listening. Folks, I want to take a quick break. Not a commercial, but viewer descriptions is advised. This talk here, this video here from the director from the Liberian News Agency, he touched me 2 days ago. I wanted you to get a sense away, and I'll come back. Callers, Aliut and Kennedy, please stay tuned. I'll be right back.
Trust is to show things that are happening, not always government. Look, someone family sitting in here. Look at that. I don't want to say the name on the headstone. This is the person's final resting place. Look at that. Look at that. I gotta go to the headstone. Okay.
Give me a hand.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good job.
Grief.
Yeah, that one shit.
So when you get there,
I can't. Yeah.
Hold it by my hand. My man,
Yeah.
I'll put your hand.
Yeah, now your own health.
They will sit down here,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all could die here.
So we need to help, we need to come up.
Yeah.
Come up. They feel rough. Yeah.
Okay. So.
All the people that live here, nobody, everybody will not save here. Look at it. Flag and sit down on it, can't sit down how full eat it.
Wow.
Not save here. Not save here.
So just look at the distance from this place to the house.
We're not save here. See?
Wow.
It's not 6 feet.
Very good. You see? Look at the black. Look at the black.
Look, I want you to look in this camera.
Yeah.
And talk to the authorities.
Tell
what all happened.
I reside here, I live here, I rent here. We not save here. Really, the community, they grow food. Some of our boss they can't here because the man little or nothing. Somebody can get them $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $200 US. They can the boss or another person great, the bury another person on there. You understand? So we not save here. We want, for me, I appeal to the government for the government to close the place down. You see, all the places that boss. That the owner face it?
No.
That the owner face it? And I contract the gate to somebody. And now you will put material.
Yeah.
That the reason. Right?
Yeah.
Very good. So, that hey, we not save here. We appeal to you.
Yeah, so tell us, since when you been here and what's the situation?
Since I've been here, the first person that will take care of the player, we really play all the greatness was strong. Since I move from here, since Solo left.
Yeah.
That's new government come in.
Solo was the one who gave me the spot for my mom when we buried her.
Very good. So since Solo moved from here, things just looking like kind of way here now. No understanding yet. All a person can do it uncertain figure for money business. So now we get new leadership here now. We decide we want to appeal to them and let them close play down, they play now safe for us. No free spy here, can get it.
Okay, because that's why we were talking to the guy.
No free spy here.
I see a lot of people and
only person that get family player the Howard, Jason Howard, right on the road there I play full. No family spy.
But do you notice
see that they don't go play that somebody private land on there?
Yeah. Here, do you notice new burial going on?
New burial can go dig a burial. Somebody can be 218 and another person on the side.
Yeah.
They want to get ratting. He pulls it, he lay down, he pull it there, he pull it down. He can make it level, he bring another person on there because for money.
Yeah.
He nothing about the person that will lay down on there.
Yeah.
So that the problem facing here, we appeal to government. Let government close the play down. Let government find different land. At least they put that here.
The same way they did Center Street.
Yes. It can be all right for us.
Why many of your friends and colleagues even the health problem? Because look at the house right there.
That's
so the
video
flies come here.
First of all, someone not living around all year.
Okay.
We are living in Yellow Gray. Someone living far away. We not kind of hustle. Anything happy is not here.
Video yesterday.
You understand? We are living here. We the one here to be asking.
It really broke my heart. But let me just bring in my guests. Two of my guys are here. I believe Momo is still here, and then Aliyu. Momo, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. That for me, the problem like I see it in a three form. The first thing like we that live in the diaspora, we are one of the basic problem of our. We are one of the greatest problems that Liberia face.
How?
Two.
How?
Yeah, thank you. Let me give you a scenario in Malanseli government. Malanseli government, almost half of Malanseli from minister came from the diaspora. But you know what happens when people leave from the diaspora? It's just you that found that, for example, if you were living in Minnesota and your family live in Georgia, do you think when you work in Minnesota, will you be loyal to Minnesota or you'll be loyal to your family in Georgia? Huh?
I'm waiting for you to answer the questions. I'm waiting to see the connection.
The reason I say that, Malanseli took a lot of people from in America that went like Europe. We live in America, we live by rules and regulations. But when we go back like Europe, we are opportunity.
Should we still be talking about Madame Salif in this whole thing?
I wouldn't say the reason I said we that live in the diaspora, we are the problem of like Europe. So I get example with Malanseli government. Malanseli took
okay, give an a perfect example with those on the ground here. Let me see.
Yeah,
those
I come to those on the ground. The problem, most of the corruption that's going like Europe. If someone steals from like Europe, they know they are American citizens. They fly back to America. They come to lay down here. it's difficult for the government to trace them back home. So end of the day, even we that live here, we cause more harm to the
So,
country.
okay, then hold on. Now. So let's make it proportional here by discussing it or
Yeah.
talking about it in its entirety. What happens to those that are when they still on ground there too? Then where do they still in Liberia? What becomes of them? You have Ellis Talot, who is one of the members of the coalition in the cyber mining case, more than 90 or some more $1 million. There you have the Helen Johnson Sirleaf son, the 1 point some more, 2 point some more, no car, no explanation, and the list goes on and on and on. They are still in Liberia.
I come to those that on the ground. Those that on the ground, the reason for me, I say someone are a little bit better. Like for example, if you appoint a man, let me get example for my company, McGivy. If the man Steve, if we have government that really want to prosecute that man, the property the man own, like the horses the man obey in our country, the government can take that property from the man. But if you appoint someone from the diaspora and the man buy a horse in America, like for example, Nyobi Kanga Lauren have 2 horses in America. She bought 2 horses in America. If maybe a government come to power and find out that Nyobi Kanga Lauren stole money, it's difficult to confiscate that horse from Nyobi Kanga Lauren in America. Because one thing, if she have an American passport, she can't later in America. It's difficult. I can give you some of the former police boss, the lady that was appointed. She was alleged. She basically she stole 400,000. When she went to court, she
now when you say alleged, go ahead.
She went to court. She found the former police boss. Up to now, the government could not able to prosecute her. The law of the former Ralphie International manager and it's the lady who alleged she stole money. Since the woman came to America, it's difficult for the government to prosecute her. But that's not the major problem in Liberia. The problem about Liberia is this. We complain that foreigners take over our economy. I just want every Liberian, we that live in the diaspora. Yes, my disappointment with we that live in the diaspora. Every day we send $10 back. If we Liberians come together, I don't say you must give money to government. We can look at in our setup. Like for example, rice is our major food. We can come together, we create a corporation, go back to the government.
You're not even trusted here. People here, the croaking people, they have an organization, they don't even make their up-to-date financial report. Then who going to take their money? The thing is all over the place now. I mean, besides Liberia, besides inside Liberia, the corrupt group is also based here. Liberia, forget it. That's where the whole leak is. So it's everywhere. So I mean, if you can, that's the problem. If you can trust your government, it makes it very difficult for ordinary people to do anything because you can't just get up here. You have to get a consent, whether you like the government or not. In order to get anything done, you have to get a consent of the people, and that's why it is dangerous when the trust is lacking. It makes it more difficult. Thank you so much, my man.
Yeah. The issues about people saying, I listen to people saying the president has the problem. So the problem of Liberia, I can tell people for free, we don't have opposition in Liberia.
No, okay, no, talk about the president. Does the president have a problem or not?
The president have problem, but the people who make
the
president have more, people who make the president have more power problem is the national leader. We live in America. Trump is one of the richest presidents on the surface of the earth. He did Trump. You know what made Trump get find a way because you have strong Congress. The matter of Republican and Democrat, there are some things Trump said that all Republican
that's just my new of it. I want to welcome my man to Lofa Julius and as well as Dennis Jar. That's not just that's just my new of it. One of the reasons we have here because all of these people, they are career people, they are doctors, they are lawyers, they have professions, so they don't really worry about leaving Senate or representative. They can live. Unlike our case, it's not like that. So for that reason, they become they are more protective of their jobs. So they form alliances with the ruling party. Other than that, maybe people are gonna poor people. That's the reason.
That's the problem we have. Let me get you something like Dino. People felt like Dino were injured. Dino were not senator. They don't say to receive $45,000 car was a weekend to hire.
Look, I don't. I have my own policy in terms of what he did, but I don't.
No, I'm talking about the money he received. They don't say when he becomes senator or any representative, the 1,500 they give for Trump, they don't read, but when you use that car, but they don't want.
in the first development, they never get 1 week in took 43,000 in Joseph.
What do you think about your party chairman, Moloba Molo, those ridiculous things that he said? Do you think there's any constraint of a conscience? Do you think he will still be party chairman? No, if I say party chairman, all of that there's a ruling party now, not necessarily you are, but you have articulated the message of the government. I could be wrong here, and that is the case, then I take it back. But do you think he's a man like that with those sort of things that came out of him? Do you think he's still supposed to be here of the rule, or that just a locker room talk like Donald Trump, right?
If
he said our liquor talk, so that Donald said the locker room talk.
If our member of the Congress for Democratic Change and our executive member, I think we'll pressure Ramoro to resign.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so Aliyu.
Yeah.
Okay, the man who was the converter guy, right? Are you still?
I don't want to call it that.
Eh?
I don't want to call it that.
You don't want to. You don't want to call it. How you want to call it? Or the guy who has repositioned himself and found a way out? Is that much better?
No, the guy who is realistic.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who is realistic. Well, before I continue, let me just say somebody was asking me a question today. Why I got Ali Samba on my Facebook page with my name Ali Kamara? I'm defrauding something. People just speak the words. I use somebody because I want to use somebody. Don't ask me. So you know me as Ali Kamara, just yes, Ali Kamara. Fine. Pastor, your point, a lot of callers call in today, some of them really made some very good points, some of which the implementation is almost, almost non-avoid, for the lack of better phrase. You say changing constitution into the vernaculars, which is a good idea.
Are your phone sounding so, my man? Everybody's phone was sounding right. Where are you? Underwater?
Is that my phone?
Hey, your phone. I said, Aliyu.
Should I get an earplug?
Ali, you want to call and you want to turn off your phone and call back because you're sounding very horrible.
Okay, let me call you from my house phone. Okay.
Whatever. Okay. Okay, let me go to this number here. 240 number 2809. Are you there, caller?
Yeah, how you doing?
Good. How are you? What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah. Oh, I'm calling from Washington, D.C.
Washington, in the capital, right?
Yeah, I'm not in Liberia, but the way I see the cemetery over there, why they don't blame the mayor of the city who take the money, the registration when somebody died. They're supposed to maintenance that place. Not the government. They blame the government. That's the same thing happening in Sierra Leone. When they messed up, they messed up the government. They blame the government. America here, they don't blame the government. Go out and do something. There are people down there have money in Liberia.
Right.
They can afford to do those kind of things. The Muslims are there. The Christians are there collecting money in the church. They can say, no, this is it's wrong. What we going to do? Let's fix the cemetery. Because I see the cemetery. I just was watching it on Facebook. Fly can go over there and go to the house around over there. That's why people sick. They can get diseases.
But let I tell you, when I played that video for long, you go faint. I'm telling you, I was so hard, and there's a reason I'm playing that.
It make me, I don't feel happy. I just got fast. I was watching it on Facebook.
There's a guy.
Why they blame the government? They're supposed to, the church and the Christian, they're supposed to come together, the Muslim. They get their money, they fix those places. It's very dangerous to see a dead body there, then the rats, they go down and go to the houses, they eat something, bread. You take it to eat.
People live. I'm telling you, if you watch that video to the end, you will be devastated. There's a guy who was talking that because when I watched that podcast a couple of days ago, I felt so bad the whole day I went to work. I couldn't just believe it. And I tweeted on the post that I wanted to get that gentleman's name. They call him James Flobo, the fellow in the video there in the black. And I even called him today because the guy he was talking a lot of things that make sense to me as a Liberian. Because he was calling on government for the closure of that cemetery because folks that are there or outside, they're breaking things, they're taking body out, and there were some things that he's talking. I felt bad that you could see about it. And I told him, I don't know who that person, whether that man or woman, but I will, based on what I heard from him and the authenticity that within him, I told him I'm going to send him a money to fix that casket because there were some things that he talked. Guess what? I talked to him today.
Yeah, you guys have to fix that problem.
People, I'm not talking about the whole cemetery. That particular cemetery that I saw, I just felt bad.
Yeah,
And I just think the people they don't deserve it. They have ran him. They have ran him out of that community. Those same folks that were there, they call him because he said, "Come on, yeah, Manigo man, yeah, the man that Manigo man," but he's talking something that makes sense for your own health. They have ran him out of that place. I talked to him this morning. He's to the place there because they want to attack him. He is the one reporting. Can you imagine people behaving like that? Go ahead. Ali, are you there? Hello? Okay, both of them leave. So the problem, there are so many problems in the country. Compound, complex problem. Government, we the citizen, everybody. This is the guy when the people went there to show them some of the things that are happening in the neighborhood there so that it would be addressed. Other people were carrying people there to bury them using fake lesson play according to him, whether it's been authenticated. But the idea, he's raising some legitimate concern. People health involved. If you watch that video to the end, people going busting people to a tomb and taking getting casket, taking hairstone and all of that, and people live there, children, men, women, people live in those places, and yet them still they're doing that. How can are you there now, Aliyu?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead quickly.
Am I clear enough?
Yeah, much better.
Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, I just wanted to pinpoint something before I can come to the suggestion.
Okay.
Our people making some really brilliant points here today. And thank you for hosting this show, by the way. And some comments you made here, by the way, just to inform you, we will have to find a search warrant to check your house for any guns you may be having, because some comments you have made here, we can charge you for threat to our country. But, with that being said, in order for us to he paused.
I'm listening. I think that's your view. That's your opinion. I know where you're going. So go ahead.
You see, you're scared. I just scared you.
I don't have to be afraid.
in order for us to change constitution to crown, a father should be able to read and interpret crown.
Right.
And with a crown literature. Do we have a crown literature, by the way?
Of course, we do.
Okay, then we have to teach the people who are graduated how to read crown. We can't go read. We can't put constitution in crown when they put a graduate they can't read crown. You know.
My
goodness. And somebody made a statement that diaspora Liberians are Liberia's problem. That person there are not fair to diaspora.
I don't know where Momosaki come from with that, but again, people view that they are people opinion that he wasn't even getting to the issue that we're discussing. So that's another way to pivot from the discussion, anyways.
Yeah, diaspora Liberian is a blessing to Liberia. Liberia corruption. It doesn't matter where anybody lives. We know of people back in the days that have massive history of corruption that were there back in the 80s. In fact, people used to give them props on the back for being so corrupt. Corrupt people were honored in the neighborhood, they were honored in the community whenever the people celebrated them. They're right in Liberia. But one thing that I wanted to put on here is that we have something between Liberia and the United States called extradition treaty.
Right.
Just because you're an American citizen doesn't mean you can go to Liberia and cause a problem and come to the United States and be free. The problem with Liberian governments is that whenever they accuse somebody of a crime, they do not have sufficient evidence to substantiate a claim.
Exactly.
And the United States will not extradite its citizen, one, if it doesn't feel that that country has a better, secure judicial system, even though they have an extradition treaty with Liberia, if they do not view that government to be responsible enough, and thirdly, if they do not have substantive evidence to try to
they don't dwell on circumstantial evidence. Oh, he's supposed to be there and create those sort of hypotheses and think that's not what they do. It's not. That's not who they are.
Yeah. So if for some reason they do not want their citizen to go to your country or the country of origin for persecution, and they have all reason to believe that the person or the citizen actually committed the act. America has a law of trying its citizen in America as well. That's why Chucky Taylor is in jail right now.
Right.
So the idea that you can go to Liberia and steal money and come to America and be free and nobody can bother you, that is a myth. There's nowhere near the truth. Okay, somebody made a statement also that one of the people that committed economic crime in Liberia was tried. They were found guilty, but they came to America. But if you find a person guilty and let them come to America, then that's business. When they're found guilty, you arrest them. They go to jail.
People, they just overhear things and they just throw it out there like they're talking to somebody who doesn't have, who don't look between the lines. I don't get that. I don't get that.
Yeah. This things can just talk sometimes. You know, sometimes I regret why I had to become a member of CDC from the beginning of it.
So you let that old man from Kakata, eh?
Well, that old man, I don't know how he stayed there that long because 20
Ali, you got out sooner, eh?
Yeah, 2011 I went with Bogey because I knew that once George Weah became a senator and I realized he had absolutely no input.
You see?
He had no contribution. That was when I decided. But when you see me, sometimes people think I'm defending the CDC. The reality remains is that when the truth is somewhere and I believe is the truth, well, most of the time it's my truth, I defend it regardless of the person involved.
Right.
And people see that as me being a CDCian or me supporting CDC. Like the case that happened with the COP acting president, whatever, or chairman in Liberia.
Are you talking about the fresh one?
The guy, what's his name?
Domo?
The one today. The one today that was
the one I'm talking about. I'm going to get your take on that. I have my own opinion or view on it. Let me just put this tweet out that he tweeted as well, so that people who maybe never had a chance to see it, so they will see it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the guy was wrong. And a lot of people will come in, George Weah supporter again for saying that. I think the guy was wrong. Look. There is nothing that is totally free. Even the food your father gave you growing up wasn't free. You got to go get a bucket of water sometime. There is nothing called freedom in its actuality. There is a consequence. Anything that starts with the word freedom, there is a penalty attached to it. You can't come on social media and say Liberian people don't need rest, they need AK-47. I mean, what is the interpretation of that statement? Why do they need AK-47? Francis, do you use AK-47 to go catch fish?
I'm waiting to get it. I'm waiting. I'm hoping to have some of the leaders to have a discussion with them. Hopefully, they will honor my invitation.
Yeah, AK-47 is not a fishing hook. AK-47 is not something they can use to cut bread and put water inside. AK-47 is used to shoot people, right? Mm-hmm. That's why it was made, to shoot people. So if the Liberian people need AK-47, then it is clear that he is recommending that the Liberian people use assault weapons against the government in order to make the government understand their plight. We are saying that is not the route to go with. What we are saying is there are many ways you can express your grievances and dissatisfaction against the government, which we all do, than to make statements that are plummeting. And that's just the open truth, a complete truth.
Look,
let us be careful what we say.
Look, Ali, for more often, and again, it is our view. We also can express our view, but our view must be expressed with sense of conscience and as a nation. And that's the same thing I'm talking about. The very opposition. We frown on the government irresponsible attitude, unpreparedness attitude, and doing things. That's the same thing you're doing. You are a figure. You're just not an ordinary person. For God's sake, within the opposition column, I would say, or maybe the pressure group, an executive, and you see the country in such a volatile situations in the midst of this, coronas and all sort of things going out, and you putting this sort of tweet out. Now, do you think me as a free thinker cannot trust you with state power We do not need free bags of rice. I say we, the poor people in Morovia, need AK-47 so our leaders can take us seriously. And people's interpreting it as metaphoric. Yes, they're using the metaphor. Okay, that's a literal word that we can use, but also there's apply actions into those literal word that we can use. I mean, you can't have it both ways. I mean, this is wrong, and I've not even seen people in the opposition. CDC, George Weah and his people, they are the elephant in the room. Their policies are dangerous for the country. Lack of leadership has been shown consistently time from time. But if you are a pressure group executive or you are a member of the opposition and you say this is what the government is doing, it's not good for you, it's not right, what do you think you're supposed to do? What tone or language do you're supposed to set so that people will say, okay, yeah, at least this group of people here, when you are leader of a group and you sending that kind of thing, knowing that our country so fragile, country fought war for 14, 15 years, people are still traumatized, people still finding what people killing people for no reason. Every day you saw the guy that killed his girlfriend for jealousy or whatever business in Banga. That's just a very few that we know. There are other things that are happening you and I just don't know about. And you call yourself the opposition, you are seeking for state office, and you will write that, and then people come to give a justification because maybe more about that. Because that's a stupid thing they are doing, and we still allow them as a leader. We say they are dumbs. They do not have the country at heart, and you coming to tell us you have the country at heart, you want to do it differently, and you behaving like that? Come on. That's just being dishonest and disingenuous.
You talk a lot of great points, and these oppositions will be responsible.
They don't have courage because they just do not have visions. There is no strategic policy as to how they even going to lead the country. So even if George Weah government is a mess, see then they have not even come to themselves to even organize. In the sense of there was no coronavirus with this sanitary talking. What is the strategy of the opposition now to take even all of these? We are blaming things that are happening to go through the Senate, the House. 15 seats at stake. What are the people that are going to be producing? At the end of the day, they're still going to deliver CDC with us. I think this was wrong. It is indefensible. Though the crime is not yet been committed, but it has the propensity to create chaos. You and I know here when you give any statement of a threat in this country, or if you tweet anything, the next day you're going to see people showing up to your door. We need to say it as it is. It was irresponsible for this guy, Domi, to behave the way he behaved and people to give justification. I think there are so many fronts that you can confront the government, that you can persuade people that this government is not doing the right thing. But to just do it a day that we do not need free bag of rice. Yeah, so all the people that are giving rice down, but we need AK-47s so our leader can take us seriously. So what is the intent of the AK-47? What do you want to do with it?
But only one thing, AK-47 is to create,
why you just telling me here is just to you want to create violence. If you wrote this on your Facebook page now in this country here, local and federal security, they will take you and you will be questioned. Because why? They see things happen on a daily basis. Liberia is no exception. People need to be responsible, and that's what I'm saying. The government people, they are not behaving responsible as leaders. The opposition doing the same thing. So how can you tell us, how can we distinguish between the two? That you doing it? I mean, you can't have it both ways. Let me go to Emmanuel, Mr. Boa here from Norway this time. Mr. Boa, are you there?
Yes. Good morning or good evening to you. And how are you?
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
Yeah, Mr. So I saw the video you posted, and you know the management of the cemetery system in Liberia is very poor. That's one of the reasons why these things are going on, because the cemeteries are not well managed, and the areas these cemeteries are located, they are either townships or in a city limit, and the city is responsible to manage these cemeteries, and that is not being done the way they should be done, because people go to the city council to procure a place to bury their dead, and they pay money manage the prisons and the cemeteries well, but that is not being done. It's very sad that we see these things. You know, how will you bury your dead, and then at the end of the day, the cemeteries are being vandalized? You know, because somebody can't pay money to another person to destroy one gravesite to bury another person. It's very sad. I think something needs to be done about it.
I don't know. That country, everything about that country is just like people not on planet Earth. Different things. Every day, it's some kind of drama.
I think on one of your shows I've contributed that our system, our institutions are very weak. And we don't have the government that will create a system that will make our institutions strong. And when institutions are not strong, the government is weak. The government will not work properly because our institutions are not strong.
Right.
You know, like somebody talk about a judicial system. Once you have money, you can go to jail. You know, once you are a government official, you can easily go to jail. You know,
but there's a different set of rules for you when you are a government official. Yeah. Only ordinary people feel the pain.
You know, yeah, that's the problem that we have in our country. And until these things are actually put into place, our country will continue to remain corrupt. Because from the hair to the toe, we are all corrupt. You know, then when you talk about the statement that this journalist made about AK-47, we live in a situation of war for 15 years, where these AK-47 were being used rampantly, killing people in Liberia.
People seeking for justice. They can't even get it now, and then you call in your even if you don't want to do it, but the intent express. Come on. What, is that the only way you got to address yourself?
I heard Henry Costa saying that this guy was making a hypothetical statement. Oh,
he was speaking metaphorically.
I don't know what.
As using literary word.
Yeah, literal word. I don't know what kind of literal word is there of using AK-47. Why he did not explain himself further. You know, because when you tell the young man that
you think I want to play a guess game to guess what in your mind?
He's going. Yeah, nobody's going to guess what's on your mind. So when you issue this kind of statements, when institutions are strong, they follow you up. The police has right to follow you up.
Are you crazy to write something like that on your Facebook page here? You need AK-47 for your community?
You can't do that.
Beg you, please.
You know, in this well-advanced country, you can't do that. In this country where I live, you can't do that. When you do that, the next day, the next minute, police is to your doorstep. They're going to search your house to make sure say you don't have AK-47 there that you intend to distribute. They will trace most of your contacts, people you have contact with all the time. They're going
to dig all in your toenails. And let me just tell you something. What happened one time to our facility, right, Mr. Boa? There's another guy there, more or less independent. We let him to do stuff for whatever reason, phone or ringing. We asked him to take it. And apparently, his finger just went on the keypad and it dialed 911. So we didn't know. And then actually, the phone, we didn't know. So right away, it's signal there. And once you died, and that when it hits that number, they know exactly where the call coming from. So we didn't know. It just came like they died to, we just call it and we'll go load the phone call back. There's no caller ID. That's that work business I'm talking about. So the call came back. Second time, the next thing, police. Who the heck? Police what? We just got a 911 call. Actually, they know the institution. We just got a 911 call. So regardless whether it was those individual or whatever it is, as long as that phone call went through, they will come and make a follow-up. You don't want to tell them, say, oh, no, that's so person. Before we go and say, okay, we are coming. In the twinkle of an eye, more than 3 cars came. The police, the owner, whatever, using a different car, and they came. Yeah. Even though it was a mistake by the resident, but they were able to recall information, time, and everything. Why? Because they know there are a lot of crazy things going on in the world. Things happen.
Yeah.
They didn't say, oh, okay, yeah, we know that house because as so people live there, so we leave it. No. So why people can't be sensible? You want to be leader. You want to lead people, and you writing this here. What are you telling these young folks, people who are already who are traumatized? The country as demobilization did not really take place. You see the behavior of the people. There are people talking and doing stuff in the country. Do you think people really in their normal state of mind to see some of the things that are happening? If you watch some of the videos coming from inside Liberia, the way people behave and people talk, do you think it's normal? It is not. And you're trying to change why the bad situation, things that are happening, and then you're writing that kind of stuff. Even though if you do not have the intention, oh guys, we got to say it as it is. We got to say it as it is.
Even if you do not have the intention, your pronouncement can instigate somebody to do wrong. So when you are talking as a journalist, you don't use this kind of hypothetical statements, because these statements, some people take them very real. You know, our population is illiterate. So if you say something, you talk about gun, they know you are talking about gun.
And that's what I was saying.
Use them.
They always distract all the opposition, the government. They always distract. When the government don't do it, opposition people do it. Opposition people don't do it. The pressure, the advocate people do it. What kind of business is this? It's just being irresponsible. You got to keep you got to keep focused. You want people to see you as a responsible people. You want people to see you. There's some sort of leadership in you. You can't consistently at both sides always putting all sort of drama. Now, you can find this out in the next few 2 days, some kind of government official, they will throw their own. Maybe in the next 24, 40 hours, UG Fagon will come with their own. I mean, what is that? It's because people do these things and they get away with it.
Yeah, people make outrageous statements that are very, very much concerning. They create unnecessary problems. You know, there are a lot of problems in Liberia that it's not easy to be solved, because those who are supposed to solve these problems, they overlook them and downplay these problems. Our legislature don't have time to look at some of these things and make laws that regulate the country.
They're just after their belly, my dear brother.
So they are just there to enrich themselves, you know. So it's very sad that our people are suffering the way they are suffering. But God will help us. One day things will change. People that talk will continue to talk, but people... I'm sorry to say
Mr. Boa, I think we need to help ourselves. God said it's getting tired now.
God is tired with us, my brother.
More pray. So I say, my own knee hurting now, tired praying, because we pray. The more we pray for the people, the more they're doing it the bad way. Yeah. All right, people, we're going to wrap it here.
Thank you very much for having me,
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, Ali, are you there? You want to wrap it up quickly in minutes before I wrap it up?
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Very Anthony will be here. I'm already going. That's the last speaker on. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you for the show. Thank you for the awareness. And I think regardless of what our judicial system is right now, to be honest with you, I see some progress being made in the judicial sector, because it is under the radar, and as a result, they are doing some things that signals that they want to do the right thing. I think we should use our judicial process a little more. Liberians must stop taking matters into their own hands. The Liberian people do not need their rations. I agree. I 100% in support of against Liberian people standing in line begging for food when they have rich agro soils.
Right.
I think what Liberian people need is seed rice, is cultivation of the untouched bushes, so that they can plant their own food with the support from the government, and let the government invest money in those areas. But Liberians do not need AK-47 now at this time. Some of us were there from 1989 all the way to 2003. We saw all of the war, and we know the power of AK-47. Let us not continue to pass on bad messages to our people. Look, in fact, let me just close on this, Alfonso, and I want to urge most of the so-called educated people. You know, somebody can have an associate degree, which is just one step from high school, being a high school graduate, and they come on social media and they say they're educating other people, and they come up with these random, comments that continue to cause problems for the people, because the people listen to them. The fact that they're in the diaspora, first of all, and they have some kind
medical or associate degree. So they keep fooling these people with things that doesn't matter. Look, George Weah does not have control over the country. The people who have
Not at
control of
all.
the country are people to worry about. Eugene Wagon. Those are the people that have control of the country.
I don't even
Those are
know
people-
why. I don't know why up to this point in time to have such a person, because I never remember people like Moses Washington. Then when the Moses Washington and other folks, when they are the Ministry of Information, you who's supposed to articulate the message of the government, and you're so divisive, you're so bitter, full of resentment like that, and still this individual still speaking for the
But
government.
we have to be
Yeah,
careful.
I mean that
people
just speaks the
Let us be
volume.
careful. Let us not push our people against this kind of police, this kind of information minister, because they will hurt our people.
This
If
is man
we
I
love
told
our people so
the
much,
police
let
the
us
other
be
day
able
when
to
they
give
see
them-
any journalist, they must be the person. So and that's why I'm saying the opposition sometimes they gotta play smart and get ahead of the game. You see the people behaving like that, and you also want to behave like that. So what does that tell us? What are you suggesting? Then we'll put you on the scale where
listen
you
to
the
that old
same
man from
and they're the
Kentucky
same.
today.
What
You
is
play
that?
video. You see how rational that man is. He never went to school. Well, he's
Common,
brilliant.
common sense. And things we were talking, it
And
makes
he
sense.
got sense more than some of the so-called educated people on social media who are causing problems in Liberia.
My brother, let's leave it for that. I don't know what's going to happen. But you have the security there say too. They say going, somebody tweeted a sort of ridiculous tweet. They go in there and other than get their 10 fingers, skin, nothing. They put in their hand all over. So what is the evidence that you're going to even gather? I mean, people are unprepared. People are unprofessionals. They are not equipped. I mean, so many things that are just engulfed our country. But we'll keep having this sort of discussion. Hopefully, people, especially those who want to take state power, you have to conduct yourself with responsibly. You have to be responsible in your decisions, in your thought, in your everyday life. As long you are in the eyes or you are championing the cause, whatever cause you think for the people, whatever comes out of you, more or less, is not even like a private business. People gotta scrutinize you. People, you can't do that. You know, I mean, it's just not decent. That's not a right thing to do for somebody who wants to lead or somebody who is part of a pressure group. And for people to give justification, whether it's a literary war or whatever, what? And I tell you, go on your Facebook page. If Molu and other people did it in the past, which was stupid things to do, and they got away with it, then should we come and should we still be repeating these things that is not helping our country? It means we are digressing. We are not progressing. So somebody did it 10 years ago. I'm gonna do it because if I do it too, I will get away with it because the person did not get away. So it has become a consistent pattern now. Yeah. So next month maybe Joy we are in his group, whatever $1 million went away. So who knows? The next government are come, they're gonna triple that too. Then at the end of the day, we're gonna talk to and Helen Johnson's son, what his name said, Noka money disappeared, regretted. But though she won a war, the Ibrahim award $5 million. Did she give the government of Liberia a dime? She didn't give anything. She just apologized. Joy, we are then came. The broom, they came to Sweetway. They broom care everything. The floor mat, everything went. So the next government are going to come to. They're going to come with their own. So that's the kind of life they want us to live. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and
we can't
no
keep doing that.
opposition government, not even the Arizona Committee, have come out emphatically to say he will go after corrupt people. He have not
You can't even say that. And that's the commitment I'm waiting to see. Even though Costa, he's as far as I'm concerned, he's not a political leader yet, so I'm not sure what he's going to be contesting.
Too. We got history on him.
Well, everybody corrupt. That's the whole system. When everybody are embedded and drowned into corruption, it makes it difficult. These are some people yesterday, they were advocating for some people here to be lawmakers. Today, they and then can see eye to eye. So then the question becomes, what were some of the things that they took into consideration? What were the questions that they asked these people for which they showcased them to the Liberian people, and it was so definitive that this person can do it? Now you want to contact me to bring somebody? Oh, please, I'm not gonna be part of that. Yeah, I mean, people are not serious. They are not serious. All of these people, they are Bella-driven people. They do not have the guts to look at people and tell them. They don't even apologize when they even did wrong to people. So what kind of people with no remorse? So how can we even entrust you with state power? How can we?
They don't care at all.
Yeah, they want to be given rights. giving ration to people like people in their own country already look like refugees.
No,
You're
when I
giving them.
saw that jetty thing, I felt bad. I saw Liberia in line. You imagine somebody talking about social distancing.
So the question is, after their senatorial or representative, they are not senator tomorrow, they able to give that right. So that just the only is that a legislation to give people rights?
None of
that
them
why
got
we
their
alleviate
own
the plight?
farm. None of them. In fact, no senator of Liberia live in his city, a county. They don't have one home there. They only got their powerful old huts and stuff there. None of them even have a home there. Everyone of them want to build school, they build school in Morovia. Somebody from way Grand Jude County, he's the senator of Grand Jude County. Your whole life is in Morovia. All right, Alfonso.
Folks, we're going to leave it for the date, and I hope these people that are making ridiculous comments that have the propensity to affect the state, the security of the state, they need to stop. It is a sovereign nation. There are other things that the government is doing. I think the opposition should have the courage to speak to those things and encourage their people and address those things, and they must be addressed in a civilized tone. You can't, violence cannot, we have had a violence for years and years. At the end of the day, we all were just the victims. So what is the point at this point in time to put those sort of soundbite up? It doesn't help it. And I think they must condemn that statement. It's reckless, it's ridiculous. We're calling for war crime court. Yeah, Prince Johnson and other folks, they're beating their chests. Those were the same AK-47 that they used. And some of us and everybody were victim. Had it not been people like Colonel Captain Gay, a Gambian contingent, when the president was killed, the convoy that Prince Johnson seized to his Carwell base, and they were going to kill people who have died. It is the same AK-47. So anybody who tweeting and putting any comment out there instead of less than AK-47, they could use any other word. Liberia is not like Syria. It's not a warlike country. Even though we put through ourselves into a warlike country, but I think for a quite while now, things have subsided. And for people that are opposition, for them to come out, their leaders who want to take state power, and people to come and give justifications that they were speaking to literally, metaphorically, is ridiculous. It doesn't suggest to me that they are prepared. It's just only simply tell me they are another group of vagabonds that want to come and loot our country. If George, we are not doing it the right way, there's a way. And of course, he's not doing it the right way. There are a lot of policy differences. There are a lot of things happening that I think the opposition can dwell on to give and restore hope to the people. But for people to come justify for somebody who is a major pressure group to do that, you go write a tweet on your Facebook page here and tell you, say, your community, you're going to cause havoc in your community. See if your local or federal people don't swarm your house and come and seize everything in your house. Come on, Liberia, we got to come to our senses. We have suffered a lot. Some of us still going through the process. You have Prince Johnson, all of those people that kill people, many of them, warlords, other than they have state power that they can't even able to hold people accountable. And then you want to add up to the already problem? Is that how the opposition? You need to start talking to Bobby Wine in Uganda. How he sit down with people and make his case and speak like a responsible person and get the attention of the international community. And I've said this over and over, and I'm going to say it today. The manner in which the opposition, they are conducting themselves, they will potentially hand power. They will end up giving us George Weah again. And it will be their fault. And history will not forgive them because they are failing to conduct themselves as responsible people that are willing to take leadership. They are not even showing any good side of them for us to even have reason to believe. No one even to come up with a condemnation. But everything is justification. They always give justification. Seriously? Is that how we want Liberia to be a lawless country? Anybody get and just say anything and do anything? In as much we get the Goliath on there, there's a way it can be done. We are in an election time. You need to season your tune. You need to refine your tune. You need to make your message season. That's how you win election. We don't need AK-47. You want AK-47, go to Iraq, go to Baghdad or Syria. People already in the country, they can't even get it. They can't even survive. Why I'm not in favor of people giving to Russian, because these are the same thieves in the Senate. They don't want to pay themselves heavy sum of money, 606,500, pay themselves 2 months and left the vulnerable people. Those are the people we need to go after. Those are the people that are supposed to go after the executive branch of government. If you don't want to have those sort of civil discussion around the table to open the eyes of the people as to how you want, when your group take over the country, how they're going to do it, but rather to bring AK-47, that's ridiculous. And you guys should be ashamed of yourself to give justification of such a behavior. And we're going to hold people accountable. Election coming. Everything we're putting it on record as well. It's not like those days before. Folks, have a pleasant night, and I will see you. Bye-bye.
The price of freedom is costly. The price of freedom is painful. John LPR TV.